Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Expanse. Today we're watching Season 3, Episode 2. And this episode is called IFF, or IFF. Last time we had the Roci crew figuring out what they're going to do, and they're going to go after Prax's daughter. Holden needs a cause to fight for, and he's found one in trying to find Prax's daughter, I think. He's, because of the way he was raised, he's got this hero complex, and he needs to be fighting for something, or saving someone. So finding Prax's daughter is kind of his mission at the moment. We saw an insight into Alex's mindset, which one thing I really appreciate about the show is that it presents where characters are coming from, usually reasonably neutrally. So the narrative doesn't necessarily have anything to say about people's perspectives to begin with, and then it remains to be seen as the show continues and the storyline progresses if characters are going to be punished for their specific mindsets or whatever. So the show isn't necessarily telling you what's right and wrong, it's just kind of presenting situations and decisions, and then you see what the consequences of that are. And it isn't preachy. It isn't like, this is the right thing to do and the good guys are in the right and they are making the right decisions. It gives the characters free to have, it makes the characters free to have flaws, and I really appreciate it when characters have flaws, because no one is perfect and everyone has flaws and makes decisions that are bad. And I like that the show doesn't immediately condemn those decisions. Characters may have to deal with consequences of them, but the show isn't saying, this is what's wrong, don't do this. It's letting you come to your own conclusions as characters deal with their consequences. And obviously it has its biases, because every piece of media has its biases and its perspectives. But in a world where modern day shows tend to be very preachy almost, and where characters aren't allowed to have flaws, it's refreshing to see characters have flaws and not be immediately the bad guys. Anyway, that perspective aside, I disagree with Alex's position on abandoning his family because he enjoys flying more. But I like that they've included it because it rounds him out as a character a lot more and raises an interesting discussion that the show can then explore further. Same with like the whole discussion on the proto-molecule, right? There was never really a right thing to do with that sample that they found. People had different opinions on it, on what they should do, and people had different ideas of how to deal with it. But the narrative has never sided with anyone. And it makes it really difficult to know who I'm siding with and what choices I agree with. But it makes it a much more interesting show because you're kind of figuring it out with the characters instead of being told what to believe. And yeah, so that aside, we also had Avasarala and Bobbie have blasted off in Julie Mao's racing ship. So I don't know where they're headed. I assume they can't go back to Earth? We'll see what happens. I hope they manage to pick up Katya at some point, because that is a fun team, and I don't want Katya to die. Yeah, I think that's about all that I have to say before we begin. Shall we get into episode 2? If. Or are we gonna see what happened to May? Oh, that was a fun effect.
Oh, I know you do, sweetheart. But you're a big girl.
Oh, I just like this now.
You told me you could take care of it.
Bye-bye.
Oh, the way his smile just dropped as soon as she left and he could drop the act. Ugh. That's a fun shot. That looks like a fully practical set as well. Doesn't, is it?
Sir, how was your trip?
Practical, fun lighting as well, the way it's changing.
I'm sorry about Kotia.
Did you kill him? Then fuck your sorries.
Okay.
So are we safe now?
Depends on your definition of safe. This is not.
Uh-oh, that didn't look good.
Shit!
They got us.
Not yet.
I love how the seats move. I guess you kind of want that with a fast and maneuverable racing ship that makes lots of tight turns and stuff. You want to not to have to worry about the direction of the G-force changing, I assume.
I've got an emergency wideband transmitter, but it's low power and only sends MCRN encrypted.
So they're basically going to send out a single to Mars. But the Roci can pick that up, right? Pinus Contorta. Huh. Do I have to call it that now? Is she just not the Roci anymore?
When we
Oh,
do
I love him
properly,
so
all
much.
we'll need is Erica Palm, Lady
I-
Palm, Spider Plant, and Peace Lily. Those are the best purifiers.
We're running low on
I
air
love
filters.
the
This is
use
just
of
we got
plants
dry
in
out.
space.
And Amos rigged.
Where did he get all of these plants from?
Same drive signature, but more efficient. Gives us a bit more margin for error.
That's great. Thanks.
Do we trust Naomi? I kind of trust Naomi. I don't think she would
It's a identified friend or
do
foe. It's a target
sneaky
recognition.
stuff. Okay. Aha! I thought that was gonna happen. The stories are coming together. Who's this?
You? I've had my share.
Who is this?
Go!
I like her already. Timothy 4:1? Is that a Bible verse? Which Timothy is it? There's two Timothys.
This is Reverend Dr. Anna Volavodoff, an old friend.
A reverend? Okay, interesting. I feel like I've heard people mention something about a reverend in the comments.
Lincoln hoped that he was on God's side.
You see, you always make me better.
I'm not sure that was what she was going for. Curious to see what direction the
Guys,
narrative will take
We
this
got a
character.
situation.
Story of our lives.
Roci picked up a distress call. You want to log a distress call against orders on the
Oh.
can, you do that.
And you're not gonna fucking
Oh,
believe
it's
this.
Julie
The
Mao's
ship's
ship.
registered
Yeah.
to Julie Mao.
That's gonna pique their interest.
All right, laying a course. I'm on my way.
Belay that.
I did that once. I'm not doing it again.
Holden is very single-minded when he has a mission. And like I can understand why he doesn't want to go. Especially when it will very likely drag them back into what they were trying to avoid. I feel like Mao is the only one who fully knows what's going on. Or at least knows more than most people what's going on. And that makes him dangerous.
All hybrid pods are ready for transfer.
Where are they transferring them? Don't like the sound of that.
We're on the same side.
Which side is that?
The right side.
That's what everyone thinks. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh dear, they're not in a fun situation, are they? I want the Roci to come pick them up because then the two stories
shit.
are connected.
What now?
Another ship just fired on us.
Another ship? Oh. What just happened there? They like just stopped. That's pretty, but what is going on?
What happened?
What?
No bars for two of theirs.
Copy that.
Our
Uh-huh.
other six are protecting the Razorback.
That was the easy part. Alex, I'm coming
They
up.
did go for it.
The only reason we're in this scrap is because you broke the tie.
Those people cried out for help.
Right.
I wonder if he's
And why
also...
would you risk not finding your little girl for some Martian jarhead you don't even know?
I wonder if he's also
so much to help me.
doesn't want to go after her to confirm that she's dead. Like, I think he's avoiding the possibility of knowing what actually happened to May.
This is you. This is both of you, baby. I love you, baby. Good night, sweet dreams.
Don't like that. What's going on there? Is that the proto-molecule being annoying? I'd be so mad if I was invited to dinner and then was just sitting alone in my corner while everyone discussed something. No, that's kind of cool.
You read it?
I share the blame.
Interesting.
Ships around Saturn. Our apologies, Dr. Velavida.
Is that a sign from God?
Oh boy.
That's a question people who aren't religious use to make fun of people who are.
No mockery intended.
Is it though?
And if that's not enough, we know where his children live.
Visiting the sins of the father on his children. You know, we've had a whole other testament since then, right?
So they've got kind of an
They're still shooting
escort
at us.
of torpedoes from the Roci. I love all the like zooms through space. They add a fun little dynamic to the fights. Oh, I don't like that door.
Control your breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth.
I don't stop. That's bad. Uh-oh. Oh no. That's not. That's a very sharp and pointy thing there. Oh no. Uh-oh.
By using them.
Oh no.
These children are the key.
I still don't know what they're actually doing with the kids.
Toa?
Ah.
Me.
This
so glad
is
you're
the kid,
here.
the other kid that was
What's
missing.
going on?
The proto-molecule.
I don't like that. It looks like he's almost looking directly into the camera.
Want to see something cool?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is Amos doing this with no oxygen? Because he pulled his oxygen thing out. I guess they probably have some left over in the suit. Now Amos needs to get back. Oh, yep, that was the pointy drill bit that looked dangerous. Hold on to that. Yeah. Are they gonna destroy the UNN ship? I feel like that's not gonna be a good look. What are they planning to do? Ooh. That was well played, and I love that angle. Whew.
We're in a war with no bullets.
Yeah.
We're not the ones at war. We are now. You think the UN's gonna give us a free pass for sparing lives?
It's not a great look for them.
And when I find May, it'll be too late.
Yeah. He's avoiding looking for her so he doesn't find her dead.
Why?
I can't bear the thought of finding May like that.
But what I do know is that a kid needs at least one person who never gives up on them.
You have someone like that?
It's not about
don't
me.
think he did, and
It's
that's
about
why.
you.
And now the stories are coming together. Ooh, I'm excited to see this. And the episode's gonna end. Oh no, never mind. Oh, this is Christian's perspective. Okay. I was like, what is going on here?
Help her, please.
And I imagine at least Holden will know who she is. So our two stories are coming together. We have Christian and Bobbie on the Roci. Or I guess it's called the Pinus Cortana. No, that's not the right word. That's something completely different. I forgot. Contora. Or something. Yeah, that. But I'm still calling it the Roci. I guess we'll be... now this is going to be interesting because I imagine Avasarala will have some goals that she wants to achieve. And she's going to expect everyone will listen to her. Because that's kind of what she's used to. But I imagine the crew won't really won't want to listen to her hugely, especially if she is going to stop them from trying to find May. And I called Prax, avoiding talking about her and avoiding going after her because he didn't want to find her dead. Yeah, that's kind of because he avoided talking about her when he was having that conversation with Holden in the last episode. So, yeah, now he's actually admitted that. And again, Amos is such a good character, and I really appreciate him just kind of calling Prax out on that. And I think he knows that a kid needs that kind of support because he never really had that. Or maybe he did because he mentioned he was looking up his caretaker in a previous episode or something like that. But he obviously did not have an ideal childhood and knows what not to do for raising kids, or at least a bit of what not to do. Yeah, so Amos being the one to stand up for kids because he was once a kid who no one stood up for is something that I love so much, and I really appreciate Amos for that. And we are giving children superpower glowing blue veins, which is a fun plot line. A lot of people were mentioned me to keep in mind, I forgot the kid's name exactly, but to remember that name when we heard it mentioned in Ganymede. So this is that kid, I guess. He's shown up, he's got blue veins, which is great. I'm sure nothing bad will come of that. So I imagine that's like... So their immunodeficiency issue is what keeps the protomolecule stable, which means they're going to turn these kids into weapons, I imagine. If that is what Mao wants to use the protomolecule for. Or, yeah, I don't know, I'm interested to see what their end goal is, because Mao didn't necessarily seem like he was weapons developing, he just kind of was exploring what the protomolecule could do. That bit felt almost like a superhero origin story, but I imagine it's going to be worse than that. And we are introduced to a new character, Anna, and I think I've heard people mention her in the comments before. I am very interested to see what they're going to do with her. It is very rare that shows actually have a positive portrayal of Christians. Usually they become cult leaders or some fanatics who are using the Bible in a controlling manner. And that's kind of the default when it comes to Christian representation. So it is refreshing to see a positive reflection or representation of a Christian. Although, I don't know how much of her theology I'm going to agree with. We'll see how it goes and how they write her. Already there are a few things that I'm like, not sure if someone who views the Bible as the ultimate authority would be doing things like the idea of her being a reverend, right, and being the leader of a church is something that I'm not sure I agree with, because men and women have different roles in the church, and for men that is often spiritually leading, and for women have roles of supporting and that kind of thing, and in the modern society people see that as putting women down because they can't lead, whereas it's more different skill sets and different ways God designed us to do different things. So yeah, having her as a reverend has already got me like, okay, we'll see how it goes. And then having her in a relationship with a woman is another thing that I'm like, okay, why are we going with this? It's frustrating when media have to make Christians progressive and, look, we're cool, she's married to a woman, she's a good Christian. Like, yeah. My view on that is that the Bible is very clear about the specific design of men and women, and that men and women are different, and that men and women are designed for relationships with one man and one woman, and anything outside of that is not God's design. Now, this is something that I only really apply to Christians, because as a Christian you view the Bible as your highest authority. So when you look at verses that say, you know, man and woman are designed for each other, and that is the only space that marriage is valid, then when a Christian is in a lesbian or gay relationship, it makes me wonder if they do see the Bible as the ultimate authority. And again, like, this is not something that I apply to non-Christians, because they don't see the Bible as the ultimate authority. So why would I apply the same expectations upon non-Christians? So yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with her. I think I'm looking forward to seeing a positive representation of Christians. Even if I disagree with some of the way she is living out her life. And again, like, it's written by, I imagine it's written by non-Christians. So having a positive Christian representation is novel and exciting in its own. Again though, like, yeah, it's to make her as a Christian seem like a likable and sympathetic character, they have to do things that are against the Bible, which as a Christian should be her highest authority. But I am looking forward to seeing what her input into the conversations are, and I like her character. Like, she seems like a cool character. Her family seems cool. And yeah, I'm very excited for the perspective she's going to bring, and the, like, further conversations that will come from that. And again, like, I don't have all the answers. I'm gonna be wrong about some things about my faith. And being able to listen to other perspectives is valuable. But I still hold that the Bible is the highest authority we can have, that it sets out the way God designed the world, and anything against that and against what the Bible says is not how God designed the world. And because God has offered us a way of salvation and escape from sin, in obedience and gratitude to Him, we should be trying to do our best to act like God and to follow His morality that He set out, because it tends to be the best way. However, this is a fictional story. So yeah, it's always interesting when you explore religion in a fictional setting, because there's only so much you can do and everyone has different perspectives, and I feel like I'm starting to ramble now, so yes. But anyway, all that being said, I am very excited for this new character and very interested to see what perspective she brings to the table. Like, already she's brought up the fact that targeting Mao's family is kind of not a great choice. A little bit of a dick move. Which another thing I a little bit disagree with her is that she's like, her comment of we've had a whole nother testament from that, which implies to me that she doesn't she sees the Old Testament as outdated. But that might be me just hyper aware of any red flags or any deviations from my understanding of the Bible, because the Bible is one whole story, both Old and New Testament. But anyway, she is right. Punishing the children for the sins of the father is not really what you should be doing, and collective punishment is indeed a war crime, which we should also not be doing. But anyway, I think that will do it from me. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed this discussion and video. I guess, what are your thoughts on this new character, and what are your thoughts on how she was introduced? Yes, I'm very excited to see Avasarala and Bobbie meet the crew of the Roci. But yeah, that'll do it from me. You guys head off, grab a drink, get a snack, take a nap, go for a walk, go and do something else, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!